Blog Talk Radio.
You're listening to RVD Radio.
Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Damn a needle! Damn summer needle! Man, crushing needle! Man, assassinator! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! I damn got straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! You get down to straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! I will fly high! 5-star broad black! You can't stop me! 5-star broad black! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! It's all about the king and the gang. The balance of power that bends. You can't stop the king and the gang. The balance of power that bends. Drop it down. The whole fucking show. Drop it down. The whole fucking show. I will levitate. Flip kick you in the yam. I will decimate. You can prepare for. Drop it down. The whole fucking show. Drop it down. The whole fucking show. Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show!
Boom! Greetings, everybody. Happy July 18th, 2012, the first ever in the history of fucking everness. Happy to be here with you. Sup, everybody? Doing another RVD radio show. Why? Because you guys listen to it. Quit fucking listening to it and we won't do it. Hope everybody's awesome. Just got back from the Comic-Con. It was jamming. Biggest comic convention in the United States. I've been told there's a bigger convention in England. Don't know if it's true or not in London. That's supposed to, but who knows? The guy that told me that was very, very hard to find credulous, if you will. But anyway, all cities have these conventions. You know, a lot of people make their entire living off just traveling to the conventions, whether they're vendors that have stores, trading cards, comics, action figures, T-shirts, video games, whatever. Or there's also celebrities that are at the Comic-Con. You know, the bigger the con, the bigger the celeb, usually. The biggest of them all, of course, being Adam West. But even, you know, like the current movies, Marvel movies, they send all their actors down to the San Diego. Some of the smaller cons have other celebrities that also will be at the bigger ones too, but some of these guys, you know, they'll be like, yeah, man, I played the mailman on the Monsters. I was in 4 episodes, and there he is with his 8x10s selling them, but it probably beats stocking shelves at Home Depot. No offense, Home Depot shelf stockers. But just saying, you know, people are into fame like that. Like they think their life is better when they meet somebody like that. I remember that. I remember when I was a little kid, and my mom told me that my cousin's friend's aunt or some shit was at the beginning of this TV show called the Mary Tyler Moore Show. She'd throw her hat up in the air, and there was a big crowded scene in New York. I was like, oh my God, I'm related to somebody that's on TV. I remember what that was like. Obviously, I have a different perspective now, but a lot of people don't. Juno, a lot of people are still in that same, bam, oh my God, are you serious, dude? Yeah, I remember you. Let me get my picture with you. It's awesome. And, of course, you know, like I mark out on some of them, especially shows I used to watch. That's where I met Bud Bundy. I was signing autographs next to him at Chiller's one year. I was like, dude, you're Bud Bundy. How cool is that? But anyway, Comic-Con was huge. I had a couple of projects that debuted there, one of them being the comic book that I've been talking about forever, Twisted Perception, that I've been saying is coming. It's done, and actually my website's got some shit done on it too. You can find Twisted Perception through Amaze at my website by going to the RVD Productions button at the bottom, and then it's like a hub for all these projects. Well, there's a lot that aren't on there, but these are some of the ones that I was ready to tell you about. Anyway, it's still in progress, but the comic book, you can find it at robvandam.com/twistedperception. We've talked about that shit. Also have another project that's a logo that will go on T-shirts, hats, stickers, whatever the fuck you kids wear nowadays. Nonconformity. You can find that at platypiproductions.org. Both of these can be found at my RVD Productions site, which is available at the hub, the robvandam.com hub, including the documentary Boardwalk Empire, which is on hold. I got to get it to say that somehow, because right now it still goes to a Kickstarter project, which is no longer a factor. The project we're waiting on until my boy Kush gets done with his battle with the courts. It's not a funding issue. That thing is basically just about done with some finishing touches on it. The Equalizers action movie, you'll see that at our RVD Productions too, just to let you guys know a little bit of what takes up some of my time. And that one also is there's a poster on there that we use at the film festival. Yes, David DeFalco, you can see that if you go to robvandam.com. I see you waiting to talk, and I'll get right to you. Catching people up on some shit. Comic-Con, comic book, comedy, Funny or Die. You guys know what Funny or Die is? It's a webisode on the internet. Will Ferrell, I guess, owns it, and a bunch of comedians and actors do clips. It gets played all over the place. Me and Kurt Angle did one. It was a lot of fun. I think it'll be funny. It's a spoof on his 2012 Olympic trials that we made up, and it's supposed to air on the 23rd, the week before Olympics, so we will be hyping that up very soon, because my calendar says that that's next Monday. So look for the Funny or Die clip with Kurt Angle and RVD. Not sure what it's called yet. I'm sure it has a name. Why the fuck wouldn't it have a name, right? Of course it does. Tonight, heading to Florida. I will be on Impact Live tomorrow on Thursday, and you can all watch me unless, of course, you have DirecTV. Boo! I have DirecTV, and a lot of, they have us send these messages out on Twitter to tell our fans, call into DirecTV, tell them you miss, TNA, and some of the fans, you don't understand. They follow Twitter and you don't have DirecTV. Some of you are like, oh, did DirecTV cancel TNA? It's Viacom who owns a shitload of the major channels. It's not just Spike. You're hearing from Spike, but if you have DirecTV, that means no. For me, it means no Tosh.0, no ridiculousness, no workaholics. there's no MTV, VH1, Comedy Central. I don't know what the list is. I don't know if AMC's on there. There's a bunch of channels. If you go to now, it reroutes you to a channel where you can hear some music. So that's what we're all going through, that are DirecTV subscribers. Currently waiting for them to work out some negotiations with Viacom. Will they do it? Certainly hope so. In the meantime, I'm still going to work. So we'll be at some house shows this weekend. I won't be coming back to Cali after Florida. I'll be shooting up to Maryland, Abilene, or however the fuck you say that, and then the Bronx, back to the ballpark. This will be my third year in a row. It's one of the biggest attended TNA shows all year long. And it's right there in the middle of Mafia history, so I'll be cruising around looking at where Lucky Luciano first took out Macero? Dude, he ended the War of the Mustache Beach right fucking there, dude, an Italian restaurant that no longer exists, but I'm going to mark out a little bit anyway. So, boom, let's do another show, yo. Why not? It's like two back-to-back shows as far as doing them on a bi-weekly basis. Twisted way of looking at doing it regularly, maybe, but whatever. It's RVD's Twisted Perception. We're going to talk about fitness, because fitness is something I think a lot of people can relate to. And I also got motivated by one of the people who are going to call him. It's a comedian friend of mine that lost like over 100 pounds. And like you would be too, if you all of a sudden got healthy, you'd be motivated to talk to people about it and spread the good word. Blog Talk Radio producer Nikki Starr is not with us again today, mostly on a lack of my lack of organizing skills, because I throw these shows together, and I threw it together last night at like 10 at night and said, boom, let's do a show tomorrow. I'm going to be out of town until Monday, and then I got to leave again. And next week I'm doing house shows in Ohio, so it's going to be pretty rough. Not home for very many days. Boom, can you do it, Nikki Starr? Maybe she can, maybe she can't. This time, stepping in, we got Mad Dog Matt Denton. Lucky to have you. How you feeling, MD?
I'm feeling tired. I've just been, on the subject of fitness, I went to a friend's wedding on Saturday, and I basically got stuck babysitting, and it just shows how unfit I am, because she had me running around for like, I want to say about 5 minutes, and by the end of it, I was just like, I'm dying.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. I should have got a hold of Harry Slash, and maybe I'm going to try and text him during this. And he was telling me about, like, even in a band that you have to be in shape, because if you get winded while you're up there in the middle of a set, you can't get through your shit. And I can see some acts are really, like, high energy when they're dancing and moving around, but that's something that, like, being, like, a pro athlete, I never even thought about that.
Yeah, of course, and also you're expanding a lot of energy by singing as well, so.
Yeah, I would guess so. Well, thanks for stepping in, MD.
No problem.
Glad to have you aboard. Always am. Feel free to hit those sound effects or whatever. I'm by winning. Step in, sweet. Well, I didn't mean in the middle while I was talking, but that's cool. So normally, Mad Dog, would you say fitness isn't part of your everyday?
It's slowly creeping up on me, because I'm starting to walk places instead of taking the bus or getting somebody to drive me.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I got some people calling in that like my stuff as part of their lifestyle. I find that the whole idea of fitness is something that people, they feel like a calling to it, like, oh, I know, I should be healthier, but they're intimidated by it. They find it overwhelming. They don't know how to acclimate any kind of fitness into their life. Mm-hmm. Or they start out super so like, well, or they procrastinate. I'm going to start walking 1 mile a day. I figure I'll start on Monday, and I understand. I know how all that is, but I don't have that luxury as part of my job. It's part of my entire life, and I'm going to go to one of my guests that I asked to call in, who doesn't have to. You don't have to work out and have like a bodybuilder physique in order to be a director, do you, David DeFalco?
No, not at all. In fact, in some ways it's probably hindered that career, some would say. But
now I got to ask you to explain that, because I remember hearing, like, way back when I was young, my dad telling me that people with muscles used to, in general, be considered, like, assumed that they were dumb, and that's why they worked out, because they didn't have a brain. Is it something like that?
I mean, that's the perception of, because, obviously, in any career, the way you present yourself and your appearance can definitely impact the career. I mean, I think that's, that goes with anything. I mean, if you're trying to be somebody, say, in like a more, in a business career, and you walk in and you're covered in tattoos and you have long hair, I mean, it's going to be harder to be taken serious and could pose some potential roadblocks that you don't even know about than if you were to have the more conventional, appearance that would be accepted in that particular, line of work. So that's one thing, but I don't think that was the biggest thing with me. I think the biggest thing that could have, caused some issues with the movie business career I had was the fact that, I really got into it way beyond just the fitness aspect of it, which is one thing, but I started to get into the whole bodybuilding part of it, and that is like, people don't even realize like how involved that really is, how time consuming that really is. True professional bodybuilders, like, that's their job. You can't have a second job and be a pro bodybuilder. And I'm not saying that I'm a pro bodybuilder, but I took it definitely to a level way beyond just somebody, going to the gym or somebody that's like a fitness, somebody that's just into being fit. So in that way, I think it definitely could have, taken away some from the other career, which is primarily how I make money. And the other interesting thing is that, when you talk about fitness and bodybuilding, fitness is obviously to be healthy, but when you take it to the level of bodybuilding, in some ways you could be potentially jeopardizing your health, and there's no question about that.
I happen to have a fitness guru on the line who I like to claim that I helped inspire from the beginning, because Diamond Dallas Page used to watch me stretch every night before my matches and not get hurt, and you started applying that more towards yourself, and now you live, breathe, sleep, and eat YRG, don't you?
Yeah, but it goes even farther back, from the way back when you were a kid. And I remember catching you at an independent show somewhere. I was in the back or whatever, and I was watching you go through like from one move into another and really deep. I'll never forget, you went like off the top rope, flipped through the air, and you hit the guard railing or some shit like that. I was like, oh my God. And you didn't get hurt. Of course, you're really young, but you're still doing it 20 plus years later. And when I ruptured my L4 and L5, and if anybody doesn't know, YRG is a part of DDP yoga, and I'm a guy who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga the first 42 years of my life. And when I ruptured that L4 and L5 and they said my career was over, Kim was trying to talk me into doing yoga. And what really sort of pushed me over the edge was to try it was your flexibility and realizing, I think you've been hurt once in your whole career, which is crazy, considered at the level you wrestle at.
Right, and I have a lot of career-ending injuries on a nightly basis, sometimes many nights in a row, and that's kind of what I enjoy. Vince McMahon once told me and Sabu we were both sadomasochists, which I don't know about that, but I'm out there to show off, and that includes fancy moves and also showing how much punishment I can take, because I'm there, center of attention, getting paid for it, and it happens to be something that I excel in, is being able to take a shit kicking and still be okay. So besides being tough, the stretching and keeping up in tip-top physical condition that's all you can do.
Absolutely, and your body is your job. It's like it's still my body's probably more my job now than ever. We just redid ddpyoga.com, because we're always constantly reinventing the site, and because we had a bunch of videos on there, and it just got too busy. So we found a thing called a slider, so you could put like 6 videos in one little thing that slides through, and you can see all the different videos. And since it was so accessible and so easy to get around, I decided to put one at the bottom of the page to show some of the stuff I'm doing at 56 years young. And when you look at the abuse that I went through from 35 to 49, and then see the stuff that I'm doing now, I mean, I could never do this, you know. So the reason why I love the workout that I do is there's no impact. It doesn't kick the shit out of my body, you know.
Yeah. And is that what age you started your career of pro wrestling? 35.
35. Yep. And
yeah.
I was managing before that, and I worked the AWA, worked Florida Championship Wrestling, and I worked a bunch of independent stuff as a manager and a color commentator. And I didn't know a wrist lock from a wristwatch, but you know the energy, and I learned as I went along. Working with Gordon solely in Florida Championship Wrestling just elevated my education at a whole different level. But when I finally got to WCW and they brought me in as a manager, after 5 months, Magnum TA came up to me and was like, listen, D, between the hair, the wrap, the broads, the diamonds, no one's paying attention to Scott. And Scott, you know, Scott's a main event guy, a potential main event guy. He's got to get over on his own. So we got to, like, take you away from him. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? You know, I'm a fourth-string color commentator. I knew somebody was going to, you know, retire, and I'd be bumped out of that spot. And so I said, to hell with it. I got 7 months left of my deal. I'm going to learn how to be a wrestler. And everybody, like, fell down laughing, as you can imagine.
Sure, and you went on to be start out as probably the world's oldest rookie in history, and then of course on to be the big superstar that you are. That motivates a lot of people. I got a couple guys on hold I want to go to. One of them you're very familiar with, Officer X. Oh wait. I gotta in order to get him an intro, I gotta get Bruce Jingles on to do it. What up, Bruce Jingles?
What's up, RVD? What's up, DDP?
Hey, and also, yeah, that's what you got. And also David DeFalco's on the line, too.
Hey, Bruce. What's up, Dave DeFalco?
How are you? Hey, listen, Jingles, I need you to give Officer X the proper intro.
Okay. Officer X, motherfucker!
Yeah, on the shit. Hey, Officer X, you are also what I would consider a fitness junkie. You work fucking 36 hours a day, patrolling the streets of Massachusetts, keeping everybody safe, not sleeping. Then you take care of the family and take your kid out and stuff. And he literally pulls over when he's driving down the highway and does jumping jacks and shit just to fit it in and to keep awake.
Oh yeah, you have to. You got to get it in when you can. And it's funny that you and Paige are on together, because you guys are two important guys in my rebirth of fitness. I mean, when I was a kid, I was on the wrestling team, the hockey team. I did all that shit. And then life gets in the way and you get out of shape. And I remember I was working, before I was a cop, I worked in a prison, and they had an annual fitness test. And I had been drinking so much for a couple of years, I couldn't pass the test. I started flunking the test. And then I left that thing. I went to the police department, and matter of fact, I met you, Rob. I was working at a show at the arena, and you were there, and you just switched to WWE, and I'd seen a video of your stretching. I said, bro, you got to teach me this shit. And then we were talking about it a little bit, and this got to be 10 years ago at least. And remember, you showed me a couple of things, and we exchanged email and became friendly. Then another thing was, and I'm always stiff and sore, and I saw Paige's originally yoga for regular guys. And I said, if this fucking guy can do yoga, I can do yoga. And I'm telling you, and the funniest thing was when I met DDP for the first time was at a show maybe 5 years ago in Pennsylvania, and I went up to him and I said, hey, you know, I like yoga stuff, and it wasn't really mainstream at the time, right? And he's probably hearing it from everybody. I go, hey, and I'm not bullshitting either. And he looked at me and goes, it doesn't matter who you know, it's who's willing to say they know you. And then you knew I wasn't full of shit.
Yeah, well put.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Hey, let me ask
but it's so important, though. It's so important, that shit.
Yeah, but do you think that most police officers think it's that important? Because I would think, being the real-life superheroes that we have to call when we're in danger and shit, there should be a standard for these guys being in shape, being able to know how to kick some ass, but it doesn't look like it to the naked eye.
They're not, and I'm going to tell you why they're not. Is because a lot of them work long hours. Their bodies are beat up from wearing all the equipment. You're sitting in the car, you're going, you're this and that. The drive-through is the main course of food for most of these guys. They work in a million, and they don't take time for themselves. And I can tell you, I've taught fitness now to 3 different police academies in a row, and it's funny. I got them doing DDP yoga. I get them doing stuff. I mean, it's just awesome stuff. And I tell every single police class this that I do them for. I said, once you put a badge in your chest and a gun, you lose the right not to be physically, mentally, and spiritually fit, because you got the whole triangle. Forget about it.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's hard to keep all three in balance, but that's the practice of life.
But it is, and I mean, another one I had was I was in the drug unit at the time, and it was an aha moment I had too. It was 2006, and we were raiding a crack house on the 4th floor, and so by the time you run out the van, you run up the 4th flight of stairs, you fight with the guys, you smash the door with the ram, the whole fucking, it was the whole thing like you see on TV.
Yeah.
I'm huffing and puffing and breathing like I just ran the marathon. I said, you know what? Fuck this. My kid's not going to my funeral because I was too fucking lazy not to do my squats and do a little bit of exercise. And that's it. Ever since then, I've never let it get too bad.
Dude, that's the worst feeling in the world. Even though I'm in the ring with some of the best athletes in the entire world, I still got to feel like I got the edge on them, or else there goes my confidence. I got to feel like, yeah, I can handle this right now. And if I'm like, which I have been, it's been years, but it's been like traveling to Japan, jet lagged, haven't slept a lot, someone sitting on my chest. I felt that feeling, where I feel like a panic. Well, when you're going to hit the panic button, I'll be like, I'm in trouble. Not fucking cool.
So do you guys swear that yoga helps with stress and everything? And
100%.
That's going to be when I get asked that, and then I'll go to you, Eddie, because I see you on hold there. When I get asked that, I think that I can only speak from my perspective. You know what I mean? Like I'm the nonconformist that says, hey, I'm just me. You guys made up all these rules and shit. So when I do my thing, my experience with actual yoga classes is limited. I did DDPs, which was an awesome workout with him, which was, not everyone gets the advantage of being able to actually have the originator right there with you. And we did with a big MMA class with Justin McCall. It was awesome. And I've done maybe one or two other ones that I didn't really enjoy so much because it was more about knowing their procedure, knowing their routine, because they're going from this stretch to this stretch to this stretch. And I have my own routine that I've learned from listening to my body where I go from this stretch to this stretch to this stretch. So it's more like doing what I do, only someone else's way when I think of yoga, unless you want to say, like, I got my own RVD kind of yoga. So, but all of it basically is working towards the same goal, which is extremely beneficial in all three areas. Like he said, your mind, body, and spirit benefit from it, especially once it's past the point of work. It might be work looking at, like, how do they do this? Wait, what's he doing? He's got his leg here. But if you get past the point of work and you get to actually enjoy what you're doing, then yeah, I mean, obviously I'm dedicated because I believe in it so much.
How long do you do it?
I give it enough.
Or if somebody's starting off, how long would you?
Hour. And if I have some pressure on me, like I know I'm going to go out in the ring and get thrown around, I can always get a better stretch than if I'm just stretching at home and there's not as much on the line. I stretch later in the day easier than in the morning, because in the morning when I wake up, I'm super stiff and tight, and my blood hasn't really worked its way through my body yet and shit. So later in the day, after I've moved around and stuff, I'm a lot looser. I can get a lot better stretching with less resistance as well.
Hey, Rob, let me interject there. One of the things that I did for my combo pack was like 10 different workouts, and they're anywhere from 25 minutes to 70 minutes. So they're all a mixture, and you can mix and match them. Like I'm answering an email while I'm listening to you guys talk, and the guy's saying, I think I need more than just a fat burner. I'm going to mix the fat burner with the energy, and all of a sudden it's a 50-minute workout. But I developed a workout called Wake Up. And, Robbie, I'm just going to send it over to you, because I don't ever send you those DVDs because you got your own thing. But just for the hell of it, look at the wake-up workout. I started actually in bed and take it to the mat. It's 10 minutes, and I call it oil for the Tin Man. Like, because I have woken up just like Rob, where I feel like I got hit by 3 trucks, and that workout, I've done it, I did it for years. I actually stopped doing it about 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, because I stopped eating wheat and dairy. And the only reason I'm letting you know about that is because that's monster inflammation. That's why you wake up and you feel like shit. It's getting the inflammation out of your body. It's amazing to me how much better I feel since I stopped doing that.
That's fucking awesome. Hey, Bruce Jingles, let me ask you real quick while I'm thinking about it. Is there, like, being a comedian and going on stage, how important is fitness? Like, zero as far as the profession goes?
Well, I try to I do I don't do yoga, but I mean, before I go up, I don't want to be stiff. In case you have a joke that's somewhat physical.
Okay.
But now that I'm getting older,
preparation, like if you're jumping up on the stool or something like that.
Yeah. Because now that I'm getting older, I'm 42, so now I'm getting older.
You are pretty old.
I'm starting to look at think about doing yoga or whatnot.
Just so you know, Bobby, let me start. Just so you know, this workout, the tagline is, it ain't your mama's yoga, and this is for yoga for people who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga. Like
that's yoga for me.
That's
okay,
it.
Cool. I wanna bring in a friend that Bruce Jingles from the comedy circuit, and I'm not sure exactly what inspired him, but he'll tell us. But he's a big dude, used to be a whole lot bigger, and he's working on his health, and he's been having amazing results. And Eddie Borojas, welcome to RVD Radio.
What's up? Thank you. What's up, Bruce?
Eddie, what's up, Slim?
Now I'm starting to get slim, right?
Yeah, Eddie, you're on with David DeFalco, Diamond Dallas Page, Officer X, and Bruce Jingles.
Beautiful.
Not to mention Mad Dog Matt Denton from all the way across the pond. So you at your most, what did you weigh, Eddie?
511 pounds.
Wow, 511 pounds is big by anybody's standards. And now what do you weigh?
I weigh 393. I lost 118 pounds in 6 months.
You lost my wife.
Awesome.
And what inspired you to do that, and how are you doing it?
What happened was when I laid down to sleep, I couldn't lay down. My weight was pressing on my lungs, where it just became like I was suffocating. So I would get like 2-3 minutes of sleep, wake up. It was from sleep apnea, basically. Mm-hmm. So my brother was really concerned about it. I never told anybody. I've been suffering for like 3 or 4 years now, and I would sleep almost on my knees, bent over my bed on pillows. Very weird position to lay in, not comfortable at all.
Right.
So, So I went to a doctor because my brother wanted me to go see a doctor, and I picked the doctor from The Biggest Loser TV show. I figured if anyone knew anything, this guy would know.
Sure, that sounds like a good bet.
Yeah, but it turns out the entire show is pretty much based off of his diet plans and ideas. And his background, besides just being a physician, is he was the physician for the Raiders during the 1980s. So he'd seen, these top athletes losing weight, gaining weight, and just his whole life was kind of been structured about losing weight and gaining weight. Himself being a wrestler, which you guys can relate to, when he was in high school, dropping 5-6 pounds in just a couple of days, to get that weigh-in going. So as he spoke with me in his office, I just completely believed everything he was telling me, which I'd never really done before. I just didn't listen to people, didn't believe anything he said to me. And when he laid out to me just simple diet and exercise, nothing major, let's just get you walking 45 minutes a day. That's all you need to do right now. Just cut these calories, get the fast food out, sodas. Just focus on fresh food, fruits, vegetables, turkey instead of ground beef. Just start cutting everything out. I started doing that slowly. And the first 9 days, I lost 17 pounds.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that blew me away.
Is ground beef that much? Is it because it's leaner? Because turkey's leaner than ground beef?
Yeah, exactly.
Calories.
Yeah, the calories.
Yeah. And it's better. To me, it just tastes better too. I try not to eat ground beef.
Feeling and stuff, and and that's another thing I've done. I've learned to cook for myself and just adding, different flavors and spices and recipes, and it's become like a fun thing. Where at first it was, he wanted me to eat vegetables. I was like, I don't like vegetables. I'm 500 pounds. I don't think I've ever eaten tasted vegetables. And I started thinking about what vegetables do I like? Well, I like fajitas. What's in a fajita? Well, there's bell peppers, tomatoes, onions. Okay, now I got my list of my vegetables going. So I just started cooking with those and just adding more and more stuff, and it started becoming really easy to eating better. And then the exercise is what I was having more of a harder time with. I would literally do 10 laps in my backyard, and my backyard is maybe the size of a tennis ball court or a basketball court. So after 5 laps of just walking around the rectangle, I would have to stop because I was completely out of breath. So I have to take a break, about 10 minutes, and then I would get back up and do another 5 laps. And that's how I started walking. It was miserable, and it was torture like the first week. And then now at the point where I'm at 6 months later, every morning I walk 2 miles and it takes about 30 minutes. I do CrossFit about 45 minutes a day. I do CrossFit 5 days a week. And when I initially lost the weight, I lost 95 pounds in 4 months just on cutting calories and walking.
Yeah, so that congratulations. That
sleeping machine.
What was that? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought, I don't know. But yeah, congratulations, Eddie, on that. That's awesome, and it'll be inspiring also to people listening. And I wanted to get DDP's opinion on this. You know, there's a common saying, you see it in the gym sometimes. It says a body at rest tends to stay at rest, a body in motion stays in motion. I believe overall, because I think it's really overwhelming for people that don't work out at all. They have regular jobs. They go home and they sit, and they're used to that, but they don't want to die. The doctors are telling them they got to be healthy, whatever. People want to generally be more fit. They don't want to just take a pill and do it. Not that there is one that you can do that without working out. There's shortcuts, but it all takes effort. And I think people that are completely overwhelmed, if they try a little bit of adding any effort, then that's a great place to start. You know, like he was talking about with the diet, he just started with the onions and tomatoes and peppers because that was the only vegetables he could, and it gave him a start. It opened up the door. I think the same thing about fitness. Like a lot of times, you know, it's hard, like traveling, especially internationally. You're on these long 12, 17-hour flights. You don't have time. But if I get out of the hotel and I at least like fucking walk around when I'm downtown, I like walking around and I'll even work up a little bit of a sweat. It's not the same thing as lifting. When you're on a weightlifting program, I hate it when people think you can substitute that for anything, and you go, oh man, I haven't been in the gym since Wednesday, and they go, well, why don't you, my dad used to say, well, why don't you cut some wood? That'll give you a good workout. And I'd be like, no, Dad, I want to do back and shoulders today. And there's a program to it when you belong on a program. But really, any effort as far as being physical, exercising, moving around, it's going to have a different effect on your body than if your body is doing absolutely nothing.
You know, that goes back to where it's talking about, you know, oil for the Tin Man. You got to keep moving. And what happens is everybody gets so sedentary because, you know, of the computer. The computer, and when I was editing my DVDs and sitting out there for long periods of time, I started to break up. And after, like, because I was getting so stiff, I feel like I just had a match with friggin', you know, with Big Show, getting thrown around all over the place. And, you know, just hunched over in your hands. And, like, my hand would constantly go numb, my right hand. So I started using my mouse with my left, and it took the numbness away. So anybody's just thinking, oh, I'm just at a computer all day, that's just like getting the shit beat out of you all over again. And when you're going to start making that movement, like, you know, what's his name right there who's lost 100-something pounds? Eddie, great job, man. It's awesome that you got up and started moving mentally, though, first. You know, I always tell people as important as the DDP yoga workout is, as important as the eating plan is, that's 10% of the equation. The 90% is between your ears, and you got that. At some point, something disturbs you enough to not just find a doctor. You went down the Biggest Loser doctor, which is awesome, and I think that what they do along the food line and what they've got them doing with a lot of things are pretty damn good. How they beat up the body, I don't like the way they push them to no extreme, you know, where there is no extremes. It's like,
how do they not have heart attacks,
I don't
DDP?
know. How is someone not dead on that show yet? I don't know. They've had close calls, you know, and I think they're just waiting for it. That's what's going to end that show because they've got to keep going bigger and bigger and bigger. But I don't know.
That's very true, and you bring up an awesome point because when I started doing CrossFit, I was doing it 5 days a week. I ended up hurting my knee and my arm because I just went too hard, too fast. You know,
Eddie, and also bigger guys, it's going to be more stress on your joints and on your you know, body overall. So you take that in consideration, but you don't let that discourage you.
Yeah, and
Officer X. When he comes on the road with me, sometimes even if I can't make it to the gym, sometimes we'll work out at the arena. Recently, a few months ago anyway, I busted out the TRX. If you guys Google TRX Fitness,
That's awesome.
You'll see what it is. It's like a suspended rope.
Yeah.
That's about all it is. A suspended rope with handles, basically. But you can do so much on it. I love mine. I've had it for a while. It packs up into a little tiny net. I took it to Hawaii. I hung it on branches and worked out. You know, it was on the beach. It's fucking awesome. And it's like a couple $100, or maybe $160. Who knows? It was a long time ago I bought it. But you have one too, Officer X. And it's
yeah,
like,
you bought it for me, man. Thank you.
It's awesome, though, right? I mean, it's not lifting weights, but you are, because your body is the weight, and you can adjust it.
But I'll tell you, Rob, in my car, right? In my car, I always have the TRX and I have a yoga mat. I always have those two things. And Eddie, I'm telling you, good luck what you're doing. Now stay away from the CrossFit. Go to ddpyoga.com and buy the system.
I saw the video earlier, and I was actually going to say DDP. Like, it looks awesome. And some of the stuff that DDP was doing himself, the moves and the poses, lifting himself up, just his arms, awesome stuff. And I was really looking forward to checking out those DVDs.
Eddie, you can't not get hurt doing CrossFit. It's impossible.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
Right.
You can't. I'm telling you. I'm not bullshitting you. I'm not bullshitting you because the guy's my friend. Go to DDP Yoga and buy the system because it'll work for you without getting injured. Because you know what happens? You get injured when you're new at this thing. You might not get back at it.
Exactly.
Don't get hurt.
Yeah.
Hey, David DeFalco, you still with us?
Still here, yep.
Hanging in there. Let me ask you something. When we started hanging out, you were kind of like a skinny little, not lifting weight guy, right?
Well, no, I was lifting, but
okay, that's what I was going to ask you. You just didn't take it like a professional company.
Right. No, I was just doing it more for fitness and didn't get into the stuff that actually makes you get a lot bigger for bodybuilding.
Right. So okay, that's what I was going to ask you because but that's got to be. In Hollywood, like in that circle of agents and producers and directors and shit. Just exercising, is it becoming a bigger part of it, or is it still that's mostly just the suit and tie business, and maybe they might hit the Stairmaster at the hotel for 10 minutes in the morning? Is it like that?
No, I think especially in Hollywood, it's become a huge part. Not to the level I do it, but to the level of hitting the weights and not just staying in fit cardio-wise. No, it's definitely big out here. The gyms are bigger than ever. The gyms are packed. You see younger, older. Everybody's lifting weights now because not only, are there health benefits to it, I think if you don't go extreme with it, but also, everybody wants to look good and have that, muscular tone appearance, which you get from the weights that, you can't just get by doing cardio. So, no, I think it's taken off in a huge direction.
You tweet pictures out sometimes at the real David DeFalco, right?
At David DeFalco, yeah. I'm always
okay, because I know a lot of times you'll get
gigantic transformation with it. You're right. Like when we first met, I always had a decent shape because I started out, but I was very skinny and. I never dreamed I could, have a body that looks more like a pro wrestler or a bodybuilder. So but that's what hooked me onto it. And that's what, drives me to get more and more into it because of the results. If I wasn't getting the results, there's no way I'd put, this kind of time and sacrifice and possibly deter from the main, business I do, which is movie making.
That's a great point to bring up, too, as results, because that takes patience. And, I started working out when I was probably 14 or 15, and man, it seemed like forever, nobody would notice. I would notice. I'd see it in the mirror, and people would say things, I'd just go, oh, and it would totally, bust my bubble. Even the first couple years wrestling, even the Sheik said to me when he was training me to wrestle and stuff, he was like, you should do some of these things for your arms, and he's making a curling motion. And I'm working my ass off. I just didn't have the genetic disposition or ability to adapt to it that quickly, and it took a long time to learn. Now I don't do exercises that I don't feel, but for years and years I did because you go through routines. Well, it says to do this 3 times, then do this, and you do it, and you're like, oh, I like this one, but I really don't like these exercises, but I do them anyway. If you don't like them, it might be because you're not getting good results from it. You don't feel it, but you don't really know until you have enough experience at it. And after a while, you'll throw certain ones out, or you learn to do them in a different way. You learn to tweak them so that you do feel them. Because when I'm in the gym, I don't want to be there. I mean, that's I want to get it done. You know what I mean? That's like, it's like part of my job. I have to fucking work out, you know, and I do get a super high from it. I'm always glad after I work out, but to get started isn't always easy, and I'm not going to waste my time doing exercises that don't even, you know, feel good.
But, you know, there's one thing, you know, it's really a huge science to it, and a lot of people don't understand. Like, I have people coming up to me all the time, especially, like, older guys, like, well, how do I get a body like that? And they don't understand that it's like there is a real science to, like, especially if you well, even fitness to it as well, but, I mean, especially bodybuilding and really taking it to that degree. I mean, people have no idea. It's not just going to the gym, but there's so much involved with it, and it's actually a science. And the more, of course, genetics is a huge part of it, obviously, but then if you have the genetics, you got to really, you know, study the whole science of it, and then eventually, you know, you can realize, you know, how to make those huge changes that you're talking about. As a kid, it's like nearly impossible because you just, you know, when you first get into it, of course, you don't know what you're doing, and there's a lot to it that people just don't realize.
Right, I got a question for Bruce Jingles, even though it also probably relates to you, Dave, and Eddie. You probably all have a perspective on this. But when I was much younger, I was a fan of a comedian named Joe Piscopo. Boom, he blew up his body. He, you know, got all jacked like a bodybuilder. That's from what I understand, it ruined his career. Is that what happened?
Yep.
Bruce.
He was fucking the babysitter. That ruined his career.
Oh, Bruce is...
That's what happened to him. He was going to run from Albany, New Jersey until he got caught fucking the nanny. That's
is that what happened?
Yeah.
Who was fucking the nanny?
Joe Piscopo.
Joe Piscopo.
I thought that was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He did too.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck it. Everybody get a nanny, right?
You know what, though? I don't know if that's true, because have you seen Carrot Top lately? That dude is ridiculously ripped.
Yeah, he's another one.
Yeah, he is. He's jacked. And, like, everyone makes fun of him, but I don't think it hurts him at all. He's a freak to look at no matter what he does.
Right.
Oh, yeah. But he sells out his Vegas shows all the time. He's still very funny.
Yeah, I remember when Joe Piscopo was on the cover of Muscle and Fitness, because I was I was in high school and I was focused, you know, I was learning all I could about lifting. I was going to be a pro wrestler when I grew up, and I was reading these magazines, and I was like, dude, this guy's awesome. And then seeing him in a couple things, and he just kind of disappeared. And I heard some people refer to saying that nobody wanted to hire him as a bodybuilder. He got too big to be cast and shit. But yeah, I guess you know, maybe fucking the nanny had something to do with it. I never heard that one.
Yeah.
She must not have been a very hot nanny.
Either.
Huh. Well, so Eddie, to start out, you must have been looking at it like, dude, I don't want to. How am I going to add fitness to my fucking lifestyle? Holy shit, where the fuck do I begin? Is it like that?
It was. It was very scary. I mean, going from 500 pounds to walking around it was so difficult. Moving around, breathing, just everything was so difficult. I just kept pushing through with just walking, and it just got so much easier as the time went by. I mean, like I said, in 9 days I lost 17 pounds, and that was 17 less pounds I had to carry around with me on my chest or my waist, and it just felt so much easier as time went on. So at first, those steps are difficult, but it gets so much easier.
Okay, can I ask a question, Eddie?
Yeah.
Has it changed your?
You're at that stage now.
Have you losing your weight changed your performance level? On stage?
It's made me write different jokes and go in a different direction where, you know, first I always joked around about my weight and my size, which kind of got the audience on my side the first half of my material, and that kind of went into different areas of it. But now refocusing my writing and looking at it different ways, coming at it from a different perspective, and even trying to inspire people with jokes I make about myself and losing weight. So it has affected my writing, but I don't know if it's a negative thing or a positive thing yet.
You'll make it a positive, Eddie.
No, it's positive.
Yeah, I'll see how the crowd reacts to it. So if I'm up there doing fat jokes and look at me like, "You skinny bastard, what are you talking about?" then maybe it's time to rewrite all my jokes.
Yeah. Well, I have been pretty much working out as long as I can remember. Like, seriously, like all through high school and ever since. And I know that the guys, some of my guests can relate to this, and some of the listeners, you may or may not know this, but we always know how long it's been since we've worked out. That's how much important it is to us. Like if you have 7 days in a week, and you want to say that you belong on a fitness program, there are some exceptions, but overall, I think that should mean that at least half the days are spent on that. If you're doing like 1 day a week or 2 day a week, that's like, you're working out 4 times a month, and you're wondering why you're not getting results. If there's 7 days a week, and on 4 days, you're exercising, and 3 days you're off, well then, you're not at the most extreme level, but fuck yeah, you're jamming, in my opinion. You're actually working out more days than you're not working out. Congrats to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it's been awesome, and I encourage everyone to go out and just walk. I mean, you don't have to be out there in the gym for 8 hours a day lifting weights. If you just go out and walk 45 minutes a day, you will lose the weight and, of course, eating better.
So think about it, Bruce. That's my advice to you too. On whatever you do, decide to pick for a program or whatever. If you do it 3 days a week, they're going to say that's acceptable. But if you really want to acclimate it to your lifestyle a lot, and it depends on what it is, of course. There's certain things that 3 days a week is fine. But if it's an overall body kind of thing, and you do it more days than you don't do it, then bam, you're gonna fucking get results.
Well, Rob, I've been riding my bike on the bike trail by my pad.
Favorite,
and I've lost 20 pounds. I'm just really thinking about. I'm thinking about yoga more for stress.
Well, stretching, man.
Calm me down.
I've always been a big proponent of stretching, and I mean, it helps throughout the day where you wouldn't even believe it. Like, you wouldn't notice, like, through just normal walking when your legs are getting tight, how much more energy it's costing you to use, and you don't even realize it just because you're not stretched out, and then you don't understand how that can affect your vibration. And like sometimes I'm just in a worse mood. I automatically have a growl behind my face just because certain parts of my body, hurting or whatever. And it's like whatever I'm talking about or thinking about in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So that's where the spiritual part comes in when you're talking about that vibration. You know what I mean? So do it. Get your vibe on. DDP, still with us?
Yo. Yeah, I'm here. I'm still here.
Okay, hey, man. What do you think? With the YRG, how many days a week do you recommend that they do it? And on the other days, do you have them do like something else when they're not doing that, or is it circumstantial? What's up with that?
It's really with everybody is different, and like I get a lot of guys who call, who write in and get the program, mainly because my kind of yoga is cardio, as you know. You're freaking sweating your ass off, and I get your heart rate jacked up standing still. So that, for people who still want to lift weights, and there's plenty of them who do, and I say, so how long do you spend on cardio, whether it's Stairmaster, elliptical, whatever? And normally people spend anywhere from a half an hour to an hour. I say, so in that case, I said, what would be, if you could eliminate the cardio, and I could get you stronger, deeper in your stretches, and your core strength stronger, which is going to make your overall weightlifting stronger, and you're going to get a kick-ass cardio workout, would you do it? And one of my buddies, Averill, who's just shredded, he's 240 pounds, 40 years old, looks like a Greek god, and he said, you mean I don't have to do any more cardio? I said, never again. He went on to not only do DDP Yoga, the YRG workout. He now is one of my certified instructors, and he teaches the class 5 days a week. And he cut back his lifting a little bit because he got shredded on top of that. And he's doing like freaky strong shit, like you were saying, body on body. And I love that TRX thing too. And sometimes I'll mix a DDP Yoga YRG workout with a TRX and go back and forth, working my chest and back, because I still like to get that movement occasionally, at least once a week or so. And I think that it's what do you want? And some guys just want to be big and bulky, but nobody wants to feel old. Nobody wants to feel stiff, and that's the first thing. One of the things I said years ago is flexibility is youth, not just in your body, in your mind, and your mind's got to really want to do it. Going back to, the 90%, it's all about, having the positive attitude to do what you're going to do. And for my workouts, I haven't lifted in probably 6 years, mainly because I want to say, look at my body, I don't lift weights. And they're like, damn, you don't lift weights. No, I don't. I just do DDP yoga. But I'm about to, when I come back from my retreat in Mexico next week, I'm going to go back in the gym for 6 months, just 3 days a week. And I just want to see, so I can show people, okay, if you're mixing the weightlifting, make this your cardio and your core strength conditioning. I just did on Facebook, DDP Yoga, we did a challenge, and it's a 30-day challenge. And it's doing it every day. Because there's no impact and kick-ass cardio, you can do it every day if you want. So some people like doing it 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week. Other people will throw it on every day, and other people mix it with their other training. And I found that I've got a lot of people that have come over from P90X, Insanity, and CrossFit because it beat the fuck out of their body. So at some point, if they're smart and they understand really weightlifting and training and wanting to stay youthful, because that's really what it's all about, eventually I'm going to get them all. I get them.
Do you still go to I like the way you put that. What do you want? That's fucking, that says it all. You know what I mean? It's like, I did it with stretching in particular. I learned in high school, hold it for 12 seconds. Then I read something else, hold the stretch for 8 seconds. Somewhere else I read hold it for 20 seconds. Now at this point, after having stretched for these how many decades I've been stretching, what I know is it is about what you want. Sometimes, especially it depends on how the muscle feels, like something will tell me if it needs a little extra work, something when I'm stretching and this needs a little extra time, I need to go into a little slower or whatever. Sometimes I will hold a stretch for several minutes and go into like a meditative state where I'm relaxing that by spotting it with the rest of my muscles, which takes a whole balance system. But I hope to explain someday. But there's not a correct answer and a formula that's going to work every time for everybody. You have to listen to your body. So that's great. And by the way, when I do cardio, I always you got to keep it interesting. I mean, it's so easy to just go and do 20 minutes on the elliptical, which is about what I normally do. Sometimes I go up to 30, but I usually do 20 minutes. But when I lift, I keep a really fast pace. When I'm home, I'll often punch my bag, or I have a punching machine in between my sets, so I keep my heart rate up. The elliptical will get boring, so I'll hop over on the treadmill. Also, sometimes I just do cardio on my heavy bag. Sometimes I've been doing a lot lately. I have a tire. I learned this from Justin McCoy. I have a tire laying on its side out by my pool, and I balance on the tire and just move around. You start going side to side to side, and you start going forward and backward. You start pretty soon, just to make it interesting for yourself, you start, doing step, kick, step. While you're balancing on the tire, I get a lot of sweat going. Your muscles have to adapt to balance. It's pretty awesome. So I try and mix the cardio up, and then I have to stick to the weights because if not, then I feel like my physique will like I'll lose my pump, and that's not a good comfortable feeling. So that's work for me to keep that up. Officer X, how long do you work out when you work out?
It depends. Usually 45 minutes. It depends. Like I'm either doing DDP yoga or I'm something with the elliptical, something with the treadmill, or the heavy bag, the jump rope, the weights. It's usually I try to get two in a day if I can, but DDP yoga is there most of the time, and then I got a wheel, I got a bunch of shit, a jump rope. I get in what I can. And sometimes it might be 4 different times at 10 minutes a shot, 15 minutes a shot, but it gets in,
Yeah, what about you?
Minimum 1 hour of, weightlifting, intense weightlifting. Minimum 1 to as much as like 2 hours max. And then I try to do at least 30 minutes of cardio a day. And I go just about every day. Like, of course, during the week, maybe I'll take 1 day off. But I'm in there pretty much every day.
And that's pretty much like the priority of your day, too, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously I got to take care of the business stuff, but yeah, I make it a point, whether it's in the afternoon or whether it's at night, I make it a point to get in there, because if you don't stick with it, then, you know, you're not going to get the kind of results that I'm looking for anyway. So, yeah, I mean, it has to be a priority to get in there, whether it's early or later.
Exactly. Late caller Justin McCauley. How often do you work out? What up, Justin Stano?
I just, what's up, brother? I just want to tell Officer Ed, I eat sushi for 45 minutes, pal. I work out. I'm just fucking. But when I work out for like 2 hours, man. You know how it is, RVD. You worked out with me before. We worked out. We done some late night, midnight pumps at Redondo, middle of the night, screaming, slamming weights around, like deadlifting 500 pounds and stuff, like nuts. You know what I mean? We go crazy, dude. It's not like a routine thing, like the Falco, just to look good, or like maybe like hopefully get a pec or more rounded off pec and a more rounded off tricep or anything. It's about like being able to like physically grab somebody and tear them apart, and so, you know, when you gotta be able to do that, you gotta work out really, really hard. And so I love working out, but you know, when you're busy and when you're a young entrepreneur, sometimes you don't get into the gym as much as you want to, which has been the case lately. So I got something to learn from DeFalco actually when it comes to scheduling my time to get to the gym properly.
That's a good point, what you brought up, though. Your workouts are more missionary. Well, I'm not that looking good isn't a mission, but for you, like, you have to have the functional strength to maneuver leverage when you're wrestling people, and your workouts. We've done a lot of weightlifting workouts, and we've done grappling workouts too, and then they're so different, and the muscles that you work and develop, and the reasons that you develop those muscles are so different when you're trying to counter somebody's weight that's trying to take you down and get you to submit by fucking squeezing one of your limbs till it hurts your brakes. Yeah.
It sounds so sentimental when you put it like that, RVD.
Hey, Rob,
so yeah, I mean, Justin does all kinds. You know, Justin seems you and Officer X are two of my friends that I would say are I put into the neurotic zone where, like, you just love working out so much. As long as it's a workout, you don't care what it is. We could just say, I could just suggest to either one of you guys, dude, I want to throw this bookshelf up on my back and run on the beach. You guys would go, bro, let's do it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, it's funny you say that, Rob. We're on a mountain bike patrol the other day at work, and there was an amphitheater with a stadium, and I said to the guys, we got to get our pump going on. I picked the bike over my head and start doing the stadium stairs, and I'm the old guy. They're all 22, 23, looking like I need to have my head examined. So fuck, you got to get it in, you know.
RVD, let the DDP. I got to roll, but I just wanted to say the awesome show, man, and getting people talking about fitness and health and the whole deal. Right now, I'm running down to San Diego because you know, Mike. I'm sure Justin does. Michael Chandler, the lightweight Bellator champ.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I'm going down to work out. He's been doing DDP yoga now for about 2 weeks now. I met him on Inside MMA, and he's supposed to get me. We're going to get together with a bunch of guys from Alliance, and going to train them today, actually tonight, and then tomorrow going to be doing something for Goldberg does a military thing every year where giving back to the military. So a bunch of those guys and me and Goldie are going to be over there signing autographs for the troops. But also, I want to plug anybody who's listening to this that tonight at 9 o'clock, DDP Radio, going to have, it's taped already, so that's why I can do both. Going to have Zach Ryder on the show. And it's a really, really good show. So if you guys get a chance, check it out. Everybody, hey, Eddie, really proud of you and great hearing all those great stories, guys.
Where can we find info on YRG again?
Everything on ddpyoga.com. Go there and just go there. Just check out the sliders, those videos that we got up there. The disabled veteran that lost 140 pounds in 10 months, Arthur. That video we put it out 8-9 weeks ago. It got us on. It went viral and got us on Good Morning America. That piece is up there. It's over 5 million hits. If you want it, if anytime you're feeling down or you're feeling pulled down, you need a shot of adrenaline, of inspiration, go to ddpyoga.com. Watch that video of Arthur. It's without question one of the most inspirational videos that I think it's out there. And that Tony Robbins actually tweeted that, and David Copperfield tweeted when it first came out, stop what you're doing right now and witness real magic. It was really, things like that blew it up. Hey,
DDPyoga.com.
Yep. DDPyoga.com. Thanks for sharing your insight, brother.
Hey, guys, have a great day.
RVD, if I could say it, our workout that we had with DDP that day at LA Boxing was honestly one of the gnarliest workouts ever. And then when I went to see him at his home, he worked me out personally and privately and yelled at me and made me feel like a little child a couple times on some of the poses. He was like way better than me. And I was just like sitting there going, this is gnarly. Back to working out. When you talk about a gnarly workout and something that's going to get you physically fit and shake some stress off your body, dude, the DDP series is unbelievable, and I back it and I endorse it, and I had a great time, working it out. And I love
Justin, you fully recommend it?
I would, especially to tall, dark, handsome comedians.
I'll tell one.
Yeah, I don't know any.
Jingles.
All right, cool. Well, we actually did go over an hour, but that's cool because it records anyway, and nobody listens to these live because I throw them together, and most people listen to the archives anyway, so it's all good, man. That was hopefully an inspirational episode. I think there's a lot of information on there from some people that have from different walks of life that have fitness involved in to different degrees, either obsessed with it or it's a small part or they're new or we're veterans of it or whatever. I think pretty good, First Jingles, don't you got a show that you want to plug?
Yeah, I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona at the Comedy Spot Friday through Sunday. Tickets are $12. Friday and Saturday 8 and 10 and Sunday at 7 at night. Go to comedian Bruce Jingles on Facebook and you can find out all the info.
All right, cool. Let's do that, yo. Good luck with the fitness, yo.
Yeah. Hey, send me. Do me a favor. Send me some stuff. I would like some beginner stretches I can do or something.
Okay, cool.
That's what she said.
We'll get you started. Eddie, if you got anything to plug?
I'll be at the Ice House tonight in Pasadena, and I actually blog my weight loss and how I started it and where it's taking me. If you want to follow that, it's following Eddie at WordPress.com, or you can just Google my name, Eddie Borojas, and I'm all over the internet with all my comedy stuff too.
Hey, congratulations, Eddie.
Cool. Thanks for calling, man, and good idea having a show on fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was too.
Yeah, it was Eddie's idea, so good luck on the future and the present. And David DeFalco, we're going to be doing our action movie Equalizer soon.
I hope to get it in, before the end of the summer. So working on it diligently.
I think you need a former fat dude and a tall black dude.
I think it's a good jingle to me. So.
I'm down, brother. You know I'm always down for you, DeFalco.
Oh, good. Right on, Bruce. We'll let you know. Command's coming up.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. We didn't even mention it, but he's been really busy with the passing of Sylvester Stallone's son, Sage. He was a friend of Dave's. Dave. And,
he was another victim of the most brutal film ever made, so that's starting to get touched on, talking to the media and everything else. So, it's craziness.
Reason I mention it, it's big news, and just want to say from RVD Radio, our condolences to the family.
My condolences, brother.
Big time.
Yeah. Officer X.
We're going to get the thunderstorms here.
Officer X. Dude. Hey, all right, Officer X, are you with me?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, okay. All right, cool, man. Well, I'm bringing the show to a close, man, and I just want to say thanks for calling in and shit. And Justin Cawley wanted to say something to you too. Go ahead, Justin.
What's up? Well, big news with the RFA. Obviously, as you know, I'm a fight commentator over there, and we just signed Mako.
Mako.
Olympic wrestler, Tyson Griffin, and Holsworth. So we got 3 new additions to the RFA roster, and we got some new TV with Fight Now TV and Fight Network, and we're doing some really good things. the shows in Maui. We're gonna be back there again, probably mid-October to November, and so look for some really great things to come. I mean, there's some big things happening in MMA, and as we know, we're on the revolution of the sport and history. We're writing history as we speak. So there's some really big things happening, and we're right in the middle of it, and it's a great time to be part of MMA.
Just saying that, where can we follow you on Twitter?
At Justin McCauley, at JUSTIN McCauley, MCCULLY. And, you know, the myth, the legend.
I'm already following you, brother.
I love it, dude. Hey, I'm following you.
Hey, why is everybody echoing, Matt Detonator?
I don't know.
Hey, man, this is fucking with my vertigo.
Hello.
That's the kush.
Okay.
It sounds like you're talking into a vagina.
Ooh, that's a big vagina.
David DeFalco, do you got anything to plug? Twitter at David DeFalco. Anything else?
Yeah, there's a lot of info about Sage and what's been going on with that whole, the controversy with that and how it relates to chaos and adds to the, urban legend of that, of course, horrific whole thing. So that and just, the Equalizers hopefully will be on its way coming soon.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, again, my condolences, brother.
Oh, thanks, man. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, he was a good guy, and he was a personal friend of mine, so, the whole thing's pretty, sad.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Dave, I don't know if you know or not, but I got the little production poster for the Equalizers from the film festivals linked to robvandam.com. So
great. Cool.
All right,
awesome.
Cool, yo. Well, better get so Matt Denton. Appreciate you stepping in for Blog Talk Radio producer Nikki Starr, yo.
No worries,
motherfucker.
About time, Bruce. Been a long time coming.
Fucking A. All right, cool. Well, everybody have a good day, man. I will do this again real soon. Maybe next week, but more likely the week after. Who the fuck knows? But hopefully it was motivating. It motivated me. I'm going to work out right now after I medicate. someone besides me felt like listening to that whole classic, have a good day.